So the Cleveland Cavaliers are on a 4-game losing streak. Are they starting to feel the wear and tear of the season? You know, when you go through those hardships, those bumps in the road. They went on the West Coast swing and they lost 4 games. There was a couple of them that were winnable, but Kevin Durant had 42 last night and waxed them up. That's the Durant people have been waiting for. That's the Phoenix people have been waiting for. I think with Cleveland, it's just a matter of just trying to coax and get into the postseason. I think they pretty much are kind of wearing. First of all, you weren't going to win like that, but 60 plus wins is a great season for them. And Donovan Mitchell didn't look so hot last night, but the thing is that you still been a team. You still been a team. So remember, setbacks and losses and things are a part of the game, unfortunately. So but there is going to be cause for concern when you're losing these games. It's about when you're peaking and when you're priming. We already know Cleveland and Boston are set in the first two positions. We know that they're the best two teams in the East, and we know that that should be the showdown we see. Now, the problem with Cleveland is, will they be able to turn that notch back on when the postseason starts? Will they be able to have the momentum to move forward? This happens to a lot of teams, peaks and valleys, more so where teams get blown out, get beat, and sometimes you just get a little lethargic. It used to be a time when that West Coast swing could wear teams out, and that was pretty commonplace. So what you wanted to do was at least keep yourself 500 on the road, because if you had a winning record on the road, 500 or better, you set yourself up good. But I think that they are probably fatigue could be setting in, and it's been a long season, and I'm not making excuses, but think about it. Cleveland being this feisty, guard driven perimeter type of team, you're going to see this kind of thing, especially when you're relying on so much of the way that they play ball. It's kind of like when I look at the Rockets. To me, that's a good example, kind of like how they're similar in that regard, because the Rockets kind of went through that ebb and flow and kind of herky jerky. And then they started to pick it back. These teams gonna go through streaks, so it's commonplace to lose a few, and then find your groove. The key is who's ever your main features, or you got your main guys set in place, and the others, everybody has to find their identity. And all this starts with the next time they win a few games. Just make sure that you're healthy, and then you go into the postseason that you right, because that's the key. But you don't want to be in a situation where you're lackluster, because then it starts to set like fatigue. And then, of course, if you're a fan of the Boston Celtics or something, you're looking at them and say, oh, yeah, they about to be had because they're going through what we went through. And you got to go through that a couple years before you get that groove, unless you're a special team. So we're not going to count it out. They still look like they could come on the East. It's still going to come down to them in Boston. But when you start losing these games, especially this late in the season, that's definitely a blueprint that teams are going to use to say, well, maybe we'll get them in this area, get them in that area. Of course, then again, you ain't going to always get a vintage Kevin Durant 42-point game, and the team that's supposed to do what they're supposed to do will beat you. But you have to watch out for like lowercase teams that you may not take it serious. That's how you end up losing to the Portlands, to the Phoenixes, and teams like that. So is it cause for concern? I'd say they have to just, once they get their next win, see what happens with their groove. But the way they play ball, their styling is gonna be kind of fatigue based because it drives so much. But they're still the first or second best team at the East, and they still can make it to the finals. So we'll see how it all plays out. Some cause for concern, yes. Do I think that this is a turning point that it makes Boston better than them? No, we still got to see it all play out. I still see these two teams battling the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't see anything else in the East. But I would say you have to tighten up the screws and make sure you finish what you set out to do. Please like, subscribe, welcome thoughts, comments, and I do respond. Thank you. Wash your hands. Keep your mind clear. Watch out for another. Share it if you like, and hit the membership. Stay safe, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free, and my peace.